What an episode. Listen, bro, coming from a long MHA fan, if y'all been seeing my videos, or y'all can even go back, I made like a whole playlist of like the MHA videos. Y'all will see that whenever the manga ended at the time, I was one of those people who I really enjoyed the manga. Now, from what I've seen so far, just like because it's kind of early in the morning, I'm uploading this. From what I've seen, majority of people are liking the anime ending, which is really good to hear. Because I know when the manga came out, it has so much backlash. Like, some people didn't like it, some people hated it. Like, a lot of people were like 50-50 about it. But me personally, I definitely enjoyed it. I just finished watching the finale of the episode, and I know I haven't talked about like the epilogue stuff, but I guess I'll go through that really fast. I was a huge fan of the epilogue stuff because it not just gave us confirmation, or about certain heroes and what they're doing now, and like maybe trying to change the societies and everything, but like you also get to find out like certain relationships like Endeavor and Shoto's relationship and the whole family dynamic situation and stuff like that. Like, I personally really like Endeavor. He is one of my favorite characters of the show. And I know some people obviously have their gripes with him because what he did to his family and whatnot. But at the end of the day, he was a man just trying to change better for himself, and just trying to. And he's not like he was asking for forgiveness or anything like that. Like, his actions were speaking aloud, and he's a good hero. Obviously, he just made some really personal fucked up decisions and stuff like that. Dobby's situation obviously very unfortunate because it could have turned out a lot more different, but obviously that's not the case. Consequences do have actions and stuff. So I mean, that whole family dynamic situation I really like, because I feel like a lot of people can relate to that, which is why I feel like a lot of people, I guess, will have some type of hatred for Endeavor. So I really like that whole family dynamic stuff. The whole Spinner situation and everything. It's cool that he still, gets to have some freedom when he's in prison. Write his book about Shigaraki and stuff, because obviously Shigaraki really considered him his only friend. That really heard him out and stuff, and they bonded and stuff. So yeah, like I said, that whole entire epilogue stuff has been really good in my personal opinion. I've been loving it, and with the latest episode that just dropped, oh my god, man! Listen, it is just one of those things that, like, as a longtime MHA fan, and I will say this too, I'm not like, I wasn't there from day one. I think I started in season 3, but from there on, I was pretty much on the fandom. I know a lot of people don't like the fandom, but with every fandom obviously has its, like, goods and bads. But at least with this, I definitely, I understand why a lot of people stay away from it. But it's just one of those things, like I said, being a longtime MHA fan and finally seeing it come to an end is one of those things that like really hurt. And especially if you watch the episode, there was a scene where Aizawa, I believe, asked Deku's like, "Do you miss it?" And you see this look on Midoriya's face, and even though he doesn't make it, you can tell he does miss it. At the end of the day, he knows that he was very fortunate enough to at least become a hero for at least 1 year, because I think the next 2 years or whatever he kind of just spent studying and whatnot. If I remember correctly, that's how it turned out. I probably, maybe, my brain kind of forgets sometimes, but yeah, the fact that he still became a hero even for that short little bit, and still got to experience with his classmates and stuff like that. And not just that, I seen some people get mad. I remember when the manga first released, a lot of people were mad that, like, oh, he's quirkless, he's not the #1 hero. The story was never about him becoming the #1 hero. You know what I'm saying? If you go back, it was like how his story became the world's greatest hero. Not just him, but like we, as in like his whole entire friend group and stuff like that, Class 1A and stuff. So like I said, I personally really like the ending, and just seeing it finally get animated for me was really touching, bro. I really love it. Obviously, at the beginning of the episode, you see the grandma. It's kind of like, parallel to Shigaraki whenever the kid, because with Shigaraki, she didn't reach out her hand to help out Shigaraki or anything like that. And, she feels bad because what if things turned out different and stuff like that? Because obviously, when she saw Shigaraki, she got scared or whatnot. But I do think that even if she did help Shigaraki, she still would have been slimed out, if I'm being honest. But she would have done the right thing, obviously. But in this instance, she didn't want to let that happen or have another incident happen. So she obviously grabbed his hand and say that she's here. And, like, you could tell that Deku motivated a lot of people, because let's say a hero is not there around, but you're there, take action, do something, you know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that I really like, because you don't have to have necessarily a pro hero card. I mean, though, it would be nice, obviously, but like, let's say someone's in danger, like, be the first one to take action. Don't wait for someone to come. Do it yourself. If not, take that chance and do it. So I really like that aspect, and it's like, Deku really motivated a lot of people in the world watching. So like I said, I really love Deku's story, because not only did because I know some people feel a certain way that he didn't become like a hero or anything like that, but if you see at the end of the episode, he technically still can be a hero, because think of it like the Iron Man situation, where like, you know, he doesn't maybe necessarily have gifted powers, but you know, with the tech and everything that like the whole entire class, when they invested in, All Might gave to Deku, and that whole entire scene for me, really, bro, I teared up a little bit, because you could see how happy that made Deku, and it's just one of the things like, damn, like, you deserve it, my boy, you know what I'm saying? You deserve it. And he's such a good guy, man. I really love Deku. Another good thing I like about this episode as well is you see that kid, he had like this mushroom top or whatever, and I really like how they a lot of people come to the All Might statue so they can get motivated and stuff like that. It really shows like the impact of All Might had in the world and stuff like that. And it's one of those things like, it's like obviously a parallel to Deku's situation. Like, yes, you can become a hero too, and like I said, such a beautiful scene. Oh my god, man, that shit touches my heart. But like I said, bro, oh, and it's so funny, I don't know if you catch this, but that kid that you saw at the beginning of the episode, he's actually a student in Deku's class, and it's really nice seeing everybody grow up, you know what I'm saying? You see everybody grow up and stuff like that, you know, 8 years later, everybody's doing their own thing and stuff like that. And I really like how, you know, even though because even it stated in the episode that, like, you know, 8 years later, a lot of people, they just don't have time to like catch up and stuff like that, because they're so busy with work and stuff like that. But you could tell all of them still care about Deku, because they put a lot of money, especially Bakugo put a lot of money into that suit, so you know, Deku could still be part, you know, of being a hero and stuff like that. And you see everybody just go in the air and stuff, and I'm like, damn, like like, it's really one of those things, like, you really gotta watch the entire story from the start to see where Deku's journey finally came to an end. But obviously it's still not come to an end, because if you saw the credits, but by the way, it was really cool seeing everybody, what they're up to and stuff like that, like what their job occupation and stuff like that. I will say, bro, out of all the people who look really mature, Shoto, he really stands out. I was like, damn, bro, really looks grown compared to everybody, and then Bakugo as well and stuff like that. But yeah, then you see obviously Deku becoming a teacher, but at the same time he got the suit, so you know, obviously his hero days are still not over. And I don't know if you peep that at the very end where it says the story still goes on or some shit like that, like the story still continues on. And as many as y'all know, we still got that special chapter that they might adapt 431 into OVA, which would be really cool. But I know a lot of us who are MHA fans are craving for a movie, you know, with them being adults. Like, I don't want to see no more teenage years or anything like that. I want to see a time skip of them being adults. So if not, give us like a All Might movie, like, you know, where it's just about All Might and stuff like that, his adventures. But yeah, like I said, it feels surreal saying that it's finally over, because obviously we're not gonna have anything to look forward to unless they announce, you know, the OVA or a movie or something. I mean, besides Vigilantes, but Vigilantes not as popular as My Hero. But you know, some people say they like that story better than the main storyline. You know, to each his own, right? But yeah, like I said, definitely wanted to get my thoughts on the latest episode of MHA, and just kind of a little bit over that blog stuff, since I kind of missed those episodes about making a video on it and whatnot. But like I said, I definitely love the epilogue stuff, some of the great stuff I've seen, because a lot of times too, when an anime's finally ending, they really don't expand on certain things. They kind of just give you like 1 or 2 chapters, and they try to wrap everything up, and that's it. But I'm glad that Horikoshi took his time, because I know he was kind of like on a busy tight schedule to at least give us a proper ending. And like I said, from what I've seen online, a lot of people definitely are loving the ending. I personally love the ending. It's one of my favorite personal endings in recent shonen times, because I know when it comes to endings and shonen, a lot of it times can be kind of rushed and stuff. But I personally thought he did a great job, and I do feel like when we get 431 adapted, I feel like a lot of people are definitely gonna be super satisfied with that, because you'll get expanded on more certain characters, like what their life is like after high school and stuff. But yeah, like I said, overall, I really am gonna miss this show. Thank you, Studio Bones. I know I had my gripes with y'all. You know, not every season was perfect, obviously, especially when it came to season 5 and 6. But season 7 was obviously a step up, and then season 8 was just masterpiece from start to finish. But yeah, appreciate all the animators and everything. Horikoshi, thank you. I will continue to support you whenever you do drop a different anime. Not anime, but manga. I will definitely be there to check it out, support you, see where it goes. But if not, hey, My Hero will always be waiting. We'll love to see, you know, adults or something. But yeah, like I said, I appreciate all the support. Like I said, I know I haven't been really getting a lot of views lately, but I appreciate the people who do watch and, you know, take out your time to watch my videos and whatnot. Y'all can check out my other videos as well. I talk about different animes, because, you know, I just like different animes and mangas. It'll be really hard for me to only stick to one anime, or like, you know. But yeah, appreciate all the support. I'll see you on my next video. Take care, take it easy, and yeah.